Hey everyone, Storm Attack is back, and I have developed a bit of a Bluxy Cola addiction. Welcome back to One More Night, with its not-so-new update that released last month. Sorry that I couldn't get this out sooner, I was busy procrastinating playing. But I'm here now, and this update introduces a bunch of new changes, especially for threats, how runs work, and even a brand new ending that we'll cover over in this video. So feel free to stick around to the end of it so you can see the brand new ending burning it down. But I don't want to waste too much more time, so let's get right into it with the very first thing: states of mind. Upon starting a new run, you'll be brought into this room asking you how do you feel. This is the states of mind room, a room that can only be accessed if you've managed to be trapped in your nightmare. The first state of mind is called calm, basically the easy mode for the game. Pros are that threats are less aggressive, you have more options, and threats gain 25% less AI level throughout the night. However, you gain less money, you only have one shop item, your starting power is brought down to 70, and you have to choose one additional starting threat, making it 4. Guilty is the normal run of this game. You get nothing, but nothing bad happens in return. That's it. Then the final state of mind is called devastated, where your power is increased to 110, you get an additional shop item, and your starting movement stats are just slightly increased. However, threats become more aggressive, threats start with a higher AI level, and you only get 2 threat choices, making it a lot more difficult for your run. Ignore the fourth state of mind, I will mention that at the end of this video. Now that we have finished discussing over the states of mind, let's discuss over the brand new threats, along with any of the other threat changes that have occurred within a new approach. Funsy Barry will run across your window, entering the storage or maintenance rooms, and he will be doing this constantly and very fast, requiring players to keep attention of what site he entered before he actually attacks you. Whenever he does, he will say a voice line like this, and attack from the door on the side he's on. Close the correct door to make him go away. Along with that, he has a penalty called Funsy Surprise, where he will attack the back door instead, making it pretty easy to know where he is.
Go get him!
Jaws will slowly start closing down on your screen. Quickly put on the mask in order to make them regress and eventually go away. This is a one and done threat with only one penalty and not much to talk about, but it is inspired off of Nightmare Chica from FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, just in case if you didn't recognize it. Along with that, it has a penalty called Sharper Jaws, stacks up to 5 times, which will make the jaws take longer to go away with the mask on. Strings will appear in either the left or right hall, emitting a very ominous sound. Quickly use your flashlight to get rid of them before they can eventually kill you. And this can work with the door closed. However, the camera light does not work on these things. As you can see, I'm shining it on them and they're not going away. Instead, use your normal flashlight to get rid of them, since that's the only thing that works. And if you decide, well, how about I just don't check the cameras, you're going to be wasting a lot of power shining your light on the doorways to try to guess where they are before they actually go away because you shined it. Along with that, they have a penalty called Sturdier Strings, where the strings will take a very long time in order for them to go away using the flashlight. Raptor is a very silent threat. He will appear at the end of the backstage camera, before quickly and quietly making his way all the way up to the backstage room camera. When he does, you have to use the camera light to get rid of him, and he will end up fucking off before entering your office. When he does enter your office, the lights will flicker, exposure fills up, requiring you to put on your mask for a long duration, same duration as Noob's. When he's gone, the mask will take a hit and he will go back to the backstage. And because of this mechanic, Noob went from my least favorite camera threat to my second least camera threat. Along with that, Raptor has a penalty called Persistent Raptor, where the camera light shining on his face will take a lot longer to get rid of him, as he just stares right into your soul because I fucking hate him. Now that we have discussed all of the brand new threats, let's discuss changes made to the pre-existing threats. Like Wormcave. Right, Wormcave? Oh right, I forgot. So yeah, in this update, Wormcave got fucking deleted because of player frustration with this mechanic. If you want to learn what he did, go to the other One More Night video that I made, but because of how frustrating he was to play, he got taken out of the game so that Dav can rework him. So the only way to access Wormcave right now is playing the Camera Duty Sandbox Challenge, because for some reason he was left in there. Bunny, Chicken, FMNoob, and Zuffy have gotten some changes because of new approach, so let's go over them. With Bunny and Chicken, they have received a bit of a nerf. Now, whenever they reach your door, all you have to do is close it and they will leave after a certain amount of time. Meaning that you don't have to go onto the cameras and stare at them on the left or right hold cameras, saving you a lot of power. Because of this change, their penalties also had to be changed as well. The first one being Haunting Duo, where they will stay at the door for longer until they eventually leave. This can stack up to 5 times just like last time, and will consume a lot more door power in order for them to actually fully go away. Meanwhile, for copycats, the change applied to this penalty was that it has unfortunately been removed from the game as a whole, meaning that it can't be accessed. Meanwhile, for FMNoob and Zuffy, their speeds have been changed to make them different. For FMNoob, he is quick to enter your vents but will go away within the blink of an eye, while for Zuffy, he will take longer to enter your vents but will stay for just a little bit longer. And to make a visual for you guys, imagine FMNoob took 5 energy drinks while Zuffy had shackles to his feet. Along with that, their penalty, Annoying Blue and Red, it has stayed the same, but it will be a lot more damning considering their new changes. Now that I have discussed over the threat changes, let's go over the brand new jump scares. Since quite a handful of them had their jump scares changed, this video will showcase all the new ones. Now that we have finished up with the threads, let's begin to talk about the shop, which has gotten not only a number of changes, but some new additions. After selecting your 3 starter threads, you'll be met with 3 items that you can purchase, but not through standard means. See, there is a new currency called TIX. TIX can only be obtained through 2 ways, either purchasing it yourself or playing through the game and ending a run, giving you some extra TIX. You can use it to either buy these starter items or gamble it all for flashlight skins. The first TIX item is called Rigged Dice, which will give you 2 dice, Threat Dice and Penalty Dice. For Threat Dice, if I don't want Jan, Mike, Pike, or Rush, I will simply go over to the dice and reroll my options. And I will have 2 of these dice to be able to use. Once I have made my decision and I decide to use it, it will burn the dice and will present me with 3 new options, Roxy, Void, and Potos. The Penalty Dice works the exact same way. If I get these 3 options that I don't like, I'll just simply reroll the dice and, funnily enough, get even worse options. Then there's Open Space, costing 110 TIX. This will increase your threat choices and, for the first time, penalty choices by 1 respectively. And finally, there's the Tarot Cloth, which costs 190 TIX and hasn't changed a single bit. Let's go over the rest of the shop changes. For starters, the shop items will now scale with price depending on what your night is. So for night 3, items will cost somewhere between $6 to $8, while for night 19, stuff will cost potentially into the triple digits. Along with that, some of the shop items have been changed. For starters, the camera light has been removed as an upgrade, and will instead be benefited from the better flashlights upgrade. This is because flashlight power and camera light have been combined into just standard light power, making it no longer 2 separate entities. And the tarot cards have been changed. First off, the Fool will now give you coins scaling depending on what night you're on. So if you're really early in your run, the Fool will give you like 25 coins for a life, while really late in your run will give you a lot more than that. Then Temperance got changed, with it now giving less power the more time you die until it eventually breaks. And lastly is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, after 10 successful rolls with the Wheel of Fortune, it will blow up, preventing you from rolling it any further. And Shadow Deals were also changed as well. For starters, Adrenaline has been changed to now increase your stamina by 0.5 and will passively gain over stamina. Hope has also been changed, where it will now increase your run speed by 20% and walk speed by 15%. Powerless will now make the camera laptop consume 50% less power and make flashlights consume no power. And then there are 2 brand new shadow deals. The first one is called Lifeblood, where you will gain 1 armor life and trade for a max life. Upon losing this armor life, you will gain it back after 2 nights. And then the other one is called How to Make Friends, where shop prices are reduced by 25%, along with the shops having 1 more item, making it a better version of greed. And then lastly, there is the new shop item, the Broken Stopwatch. This will increase or decrease aggression randomly each night by 25 or negative 25%. And the only way to be able to buy this item is by beating the Trapped in Your Nightmare achievement. Now that we have finished the shop items, let's go over the achievements and equipments. And this will be a redo of the last one because I forgot to mention all the equipments. So I'm going to be going through all the achievements again. Let's go through this quickly. Empty-handed requires you to complete a run with your inventory completely empty. That means you cannot buy shop items or bring any starter equipments. However, main equipments are still fine. No Time to Think requires you to complete a run in under 40 minutes, with the best way to get this achievement being to grab anything that can shorten the night's duration, such as Quickly Out or the Moon or the Pocket Watch. This will give you the Adrenaline equipment, which will increase your run speed and suffer no stamina drain for 5 seconds, along with having 4 charges. That's My Blood requires you to die 5 times during a run, which can be easily done by just having the Lifeblood shadow deal, and the Heart Locket, or anything that can give you extra lives. Bloodshed is the exact same thing, except you have to die 10 times during a run, which is significantly a lot more harder, but can still be done. Getting Bloodshed will give you the Telltale Heart starter equipment, which will start you off with the Temperance Tarot's card. Let There Be Light requires you to have 3 better flashlight upgrades, which will give you the Broken Light Bulb starter equipment, which will increase the effectiveness of your light power by 35%, and can stack if there are more, but will only give an additional 10%. Gone Outside requires you to reduce the night's duration down to 75 seconds or lower, which will give you the Pocket Watch starter equipment, which will make the nights 5 seconds shorter and can stack with other pocket watches, reducing the night's duration by 1 second. The next one is Overcharged, which requires you to have 150 or more power to obtain. This will give you the spare battery starter equipment, which will increase your power by 7% and can be stacked with other spare batteries, but will only increase it by 1%. Hard Worker requires you to beat an ending with 3 overtimes and no quickly outs. Keyword quickly outs, you can still bring Pocket Watch and buy the moon to shorten the night's duration, but no quickly outs, and you have to have 3 overtimes. And the best way to get that is to pick threats with 0 penalties and potentially buy the open space TIX Shop item to increase your chances of getting it. The Rich Get Richer requires you to have 200 coins within a single run, which will give you the Pocket Change starter equipment, allowing you to start with 10 coins. Any other Pocket Change will only give you +3. Faster Than You, Never Tired and Taking a Stroll requires you to have 3 Bloxy Aids, 3 Bloxy Colas, and 3 coffees respectively, which will give you the Sugary Drink, Coffee Cup, and Bloxy Drink respectively, which will increase your run speed, walk speed, and stamina respectively. Along with that, all of them can stack. I Call for Help requires you to beat any of the endings solo while under the guilty mindset. And yes, this does count if you beat it solo for the first time. This will give you the camera panel main equipment, which will allow you to be able to access the cameras from anywhere in the office, but have a shorter battery life. Unfortunate requires you to obtain the Wheel of Fortune and make it explode through gambling. This will give you the 4-leaf clover, which will guarantee the Wheel of Fortune in your first shop along with being cheaper. Did You Shake It requires you to drink the Bloxy Cola in the lobby until you explode, which will give you the Witch's Brew main equipment, which will allow you to quickly recover your stamina and gain over stamina and having 5 charges to use. The Paintbrush requires you to find the hidden paintbrush within the L bar, which you can go to the previous video to find. This will give you Jordy's paintbrush, which will make Jordy guaranteed to appear and reduce his aggression. Strongest Hammer requires you to score a 97% or higher on the Strong Man's Hammer minigame, which will give you the Pocket Bell, which is just a soundboard for any run. Not a Charity requires you to donate any amount of tickets to the ticket donating machine, which you can find next to the gambling crates in the shop. Nights 1 through 20 can be obtained by completing nights 1 through 20, with nights 5, 10, and 15 giving 3 equipments: Safety Helmet, New Shoes, and Healthy. Safety Helmet is a starter equipment that will give the mask 1 more hit point and can be stacked, while New Shoes and Healthy are main equipments, with New Shoes increasing your running speed by 10% and Healthy increasing your stamina by 15%. However, nights 30 through 99 can only be obtained through going through the endless nights and don't give anything as a reward, but you do get bragging rights for making it all the way to night fucking 99. Are You Ready for Barry requires you to survive a night without Barry moving past the dining room on night 10 or higher. This will give you the Barry's Hat starter equipment, which makes Barry guaranteed to appear, reduces his aggression, and puts a marker on the camera showing where his location is. Self-Embodiment of Perfection requires you to beat the preset math exam solo. This will give you the Calculator starter equipment, which will make Dry guaranteed to appear, reduces his aggression, and makes the numbers on his questions be a lot lower. Fighting the Thoughts requires you to beat the preset Unforgiven, solo, or duo. All Figured Out requires you to stop Figure from moving past the dining room on night 10 or higher and survive. This will give you the Figure Glow Stick starter equipment, which will make Figure guaranteed to appear, reduces its aggression, and places a marker showing its location. Chicken Percent requires you to retrieve Isra's chicken in less than 1 second through clicking on it. This will give you the Isra's Chicken starter equipment, which will make Isra guaranteed to appear, reduces his aggression, and places a marker on the cameras where the chicken is. The No Power Needed achievement requires you to beat the preset Lights Out either solo or duo. Because this is a new challenge, I will explain about it right now. No Power Needed will automatically force the whole office to be in a power outage. And the threats that are thrown at you are Ball, Old Barry, Old Bunny, Old Chicken, Dry, Jan, Kono, Mango, Potos, and ventilation errors. This challenge is basically not a challenge, it's pretty easy to deal with, especially since Screech and Roxy don't spawn in this, even though they're more aggressive during a power outage. But beating this challenge will give you the Flash Beacon main equipment. which will heavily boost your light power for 5 seconds and has 3 charges. Music of the Past requires you to beat the preset Lost Music Box solo, which will give you the Music Box main equipment, which will allow you to be able to wind up the puppet's music box while in the office, no longer requiring you to go on the cameras. Not Today Girl requires you to throw Roxy's Fumo doll during a power outage. This will give you the Fumo sticker, which will make Roxy guaranteed to appear, reduces her aggression, and allows the Fumo to be thrown faster. Quick Thinker requires you to beat the preset Constant QTE solo, which will give you the Quick Step main equipment that will allow you to perform a quick dash forward and has 5 charges. Unmasked requires you to survive the night with your mask broken while Old Barry, Old Bunny, and Old Chicken are active. And the best way to do this is by having Ball in your run so that you can destroy it by around 5 AM, close to 6 AM, so that neither of these 3 animatronics can kill you. Doing this will give you the spare mask main equipment, which will increase your mask HP by 2. Boop requires you to boop the Destroy Man the Third plushie while you're in the office in the middle of a run. That's it. Emptiness requires you to become empty, which can only be done by trading in all 3 shadow deals whenever they're available. This will give you the My Heart Locket starter equipment, which will increase your movement speed and stamina depending on how many lives you're missing. And along with that, if you lose all of your lives, your max lives will be set down to 1 and allow you to continue going through the run. Empty Victory requires you to become empty and reach an ending. Shiny Things Make Me Happy required you to equip your first flashlight skin from gambling. I'm Prepared and Another Memory require you to equip your first starter and main equipments. No Power, No Problem requires you to survive a night during a power outage, which has to be Night 5 or higher. This will give you the Under My Sleeve starter equipment, which allows you to start with the Judgment Tarot card. Welcome is just that, a welcome badge, which everyone has because they get it upon joining the game for the first time. Trapped in the Nightmare achievement requires you to beat Night 20 without holding any items that influence the outcome. In other words, the normal ending. This will allow you to buy the broken Stopwatch item in the shop, unlocks the Guilty Memory main equipment, which increases running speed, walk speed, and stamina by 7%, and unlocks the States of Mind room, which again, as I mentioned earlier, allows you to influence how your run acts. Then finally, the Burning It Down achievement. The thing that you have all been probably waiting for this entire video. And I will explain about it now. In order to access the Burning It Down ending, you will need to find the gasoline canister. Hidden away in the maintenance camera, hold down your camera light in order to be able to collect it. Now, at the beginning of Night 5, you will be able to make a choice. In front of you are 2 options. The first option is Trapped in the Nightmare. This is the ending that we all know about where you don't choose anything. However, we want the ending Burning It Down, which is why we collected the gasoline and the lighter. Upon choosing this ending, a new screen will appear within the room. This is a map of all the cameras, and we will have to choose which cameras to douse. And I will go over how these work. Upon selecting one of these little circles, you will have chosen a camera to douse. Then you will have to survive the night in order for that dowsing to be successful. Upon going into the next night, you will notice that the camera feed is no longer available. This is because the gasoline has ruined the video feed, so you are no longer able to see anything. Don't freak out, because you can still perform actions and hear things, you just can't see anything, which removes a very key part of information. Along with that, you can only douse a camera every other night, which extends this pain a lot longer than it has to. But let's not waste any more time, let me tell you about what cameras get disabled with certain circles. Choosing this option will disable the entrance camera, which will remove visibility on Figure's starting spot, Bad, and Zgesto. Choosing this will disable the prize room and arcade cameras, fucking you over with Fox and Figure. Choosing this will disable the maintenance and left vent cameras, which, once again, can fuck you over with Figure, along with Zuffy and FMNoob. Disabling this will disable the left and right hall cameras, which will fuck you over with Strings and Old Fox. This disables the storage and right vent cameras, which will fuck you over with the 3 from maintenance along with Barry. This will disable the kitchen, which only really screws you over with Figure and Barry. Then finally this, which disables 3 cameras at once. This will fuck you over with Figure, Barry, and Raptor, since it disables dining room, stage, and backstage. And a final thing to mention, almost all of these cameras can fuck you over with Isra specifically. And so what's my advice for trying to beat this ending? Simple. Choose office and door threats, since they don't require the use of cameras at all. And if you do have to pick a camera threat, ideally it should be Mike Pike and Destroy Man, since they appear on your screen and not on the camera. You will have to do this all the way up until you reach to night 20, in which you will have to fight myself like normal, but there is a bit of a slight difference upon reaching 6 AM. Welcome to night 21, introducing our brand new boss threat, Scorched Myself, and I will be talking about everything that comes with this new fight. Welcome to your new office, which is a lot smaller with 3 doors, a furnace, and your laptop. Starting off with the 3 doors, whenever Scorched Myself laughs, you will have to check the cameras to find which door he's behind, and then you will have to find the camera where a memory fragment is behind. This is how you get rid of him and prevent him from killing you. And if you end up opening up the wrong door, Scorched Myself will kill you. Along with that, the coal and the furnace aren't just for show. This is how you stay alive. The furnace not only brings up your power to keep the power from going out, but will also keep you warm. If you get too cold, you will be unable to run, check the cameras, and open up any doors, which means Scorched Myself will kill you because of your lack of heat. Along with that, ice spikes will rise up from the ground, blocking you from going one way, which can severely limit your mobility when going for any of the memory fragments. And finally, the last thing Scorched Myself can do is increase the night's duration by 4 minutes and 20 seconds! Jesus Christ! And after 4 minutes of dealing with Scorched Myself, you will have finally beaten him and earned Burning It Down. After achieving the Burning It Down ending, you will be rewarded with 2 things. The first one is the Turbo Gasoline Starter equipment, which will allow you to be able to buy the Turbo Mode upgrade in the first shop as a cheaper option, which has been changed since last time. You will be able to charge up the power generator 100% faster, but power drains quicker when above 50%. Along with that, you unlock the Scorched State of Mind. Starting power is increased by 10% and threats become less aggressive, however door overheat becomes a lot faster, and you start with the heat threat. Heat is a constant threat you'll have to deal with. It replaces the locker in your office, and a new temperature will appear at the bottom left. This shows how hot it is in your office. If it reaches 120 degrees, you will end up dying, so you will have to use the fan in order to keep the heat down. However, this will consume power, so manage this consistently to avoid losing power and avoid dying. And that's all I have to say about this update. Sorry that I couldn't get this out sooner. Like I said, I was procrastinating a lot on this video. But I hope you enjoyed it no matter how late it was, and I will see you the next time this game updates. And I don't have much else to say, so I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye bye!